Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Collections, Coin Collectors and History Buffs. If you thought that coins from the 2000s are too modern to be worth much, you might want to think again. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that might be hiding in your collection right now, waiting to surprise you with its potential value, the 2004 United States nickel. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that's only a couple of decades old could be worth a small fortune, but there's more to this story than just its age. Stick around, because what we're about to reveal may change the way you look at your pocket change forever. The 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, has been a staple of American currency for over 150 years. It was first introduced in 1866 and has gone through numerous design changes throughout the years. The most iconic design, which features Thomas Jefferson's profile on the front, has been in circulation since 1938. But even though the design has remained relatively the same for decades, the coins themselves can be quite different when you start considering factors like mint marks, rarity, and condition. Now, let's focus on the 2004 nickel, a coin that, on its surface, might seem like just another regular nickel from the early 2000s. After all, millions of these coins were produced that year. But just like with many other coins, it's not just the year of production that determines value, it's the condition of the coin, its mint mark, and sometimes even the design variations that can make a coin stand out. And when it comes to the 2004 nickel, there are a few key factors that can elevate its worth far beyond its 5-cent face value. In 2004, the United States Mint released a series of nickels featuring a new design, known as the Westward Journey Nickel Series. This was part of a larger effort to celebrate the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition. The 2004 nickels were the first in this series, with the reverse side depicting a depiction of the famous keelboat, which was used by Lewis and Clark during their expedition across the western United States. The obverse, of course, still features Thomas Jefferson's portrait, as it has since 1938. But here's where things get interesting. While many of the 2004 nickels look just like any other nickel you'd encounter in circulation, there are specific variations and conditions that can significantly affect their value. For example, certain mint marks and rarer coin grades can make a huge difference in what a coin is worth on the market. Speaking of mint marks, this is one of the first things you should look at when evaluating the value of a 2004 nickel. The mint mark tells us where the coin was produced, and for the 2004 nickel, there are two potential marks, P for the Philadelphia Mint and D for the Denver Mint. While most 2004 nickels were produced at the Denver Mint, the ones from the Philadelphia Mint can sometimes hold a bit more value, depending on the condition and demand. The next factor to consider is the condition of the coin. Most nickels from 2004 have been circulated for years, and as a result, they show signs of wear and tear. Coins that have been heavily circulated, scratched, or tarnished are generally worth only a few cents above their face value. However, uncirculated coins, those that have never been used in circulation and are in pristine condition, can be worth far more. These coins have sharp details, clean surfaces, and minimal wear. So, if you happen to find a 2004 nickel in immaculate condition, you could be holding on to something much more valuable, but it doesn't end there. If you're lucky enough to come across a rare 2004 nickel that features a specific error or unique feature, it could be worth an incredible amount. Some error coins, such as those with misstrikes or die cracks, are highly sought after by collectors and can command huge premiums at auctions. These rare variations can make a nickel worth a lot more than you might expect. So, how much are we talking about when it comes to the 2004 nickel? Well, while the typical 2004 nickel is worth only 5 cents, rare examples in perfect condition, or those with unique characteristics, can fetch quite a price. If you happen to find a 2004 nickel that has remained in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially if it's a rare mint mark or contains a notable error, you could be looking at a coin worth as much as $45,000. That's right, $45,000 for a coin that was once just a small part of your spare change. Now, I know that might sound surprising, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. There's a world of hidden treasures just waiting to be discovered, and sometimes, it's the coins that seem ordinary at first that turn out to be the most valuable. The key is knowing what to look for and taking the time to examine each coin carefully. In summary, the 2004 United States nickel is a perfect example of how seemingly ordinary coins can hold extraordinary value. With its unique design, the potential for rare mint marks and error coins, and the impact of pristine condition, this nickel could be worth far more than you ever imagined. So, the next time you find a 2004 nickel in your pocket change, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look, because you might be holding onto a hidden gem worth $45,000. Today, we have a real treat for you, a coin that's been around for over half a century but still holds a tremendous amount of value for collectors. We're talking about the 1964 United States 5-cent nickel. Now, you might be thinking, a nickel from the 1960s? That's too common, it can't be worth much. But, as we always say in the world of numismatics, you never really know the true value of a coin until you look closely. And trust me, this coin is not just another nickel, it's a hidden gem that could be worth far more than its face value. So, if you've ever wondered how much your old nickels might be worth, stick around, because we're about to dive deep into the story of the 1964 nickel and how it could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Before we dive into the details of the 1964 nickel, let's take a moment to understand a bit of the history behind the coin itself. The 5-cent nickel has been a staple of American currency since 1866, but the 1964 version is particularly interesting because it sits right in the middle of a significant period in U.S. history. The coin still featured the classic portrait of Thomas Jefferson, which had been part of the design since 1938, and it was a time of change for the country, politically, socially, and economically. The 1964 nickel, produced by the U.S. Mint, is made of a copper-nickel alloy, which has been the standard composition for this coin since its inception. But what makes the 1964 version stand out is not just its age or its historical significance, it's the potential for rare variations that could make this coin a valuable addition to your collection. Sure, most 1964 nickels you'll come across may just be worth their 5-cent face value, but there are some exceptional specimens that can fetch an incredible price. Now, you may be wondering, what makes a 1964 nickel valuable? The answer lies in a few key factors: mint marks, condition, and rarity. First, let's talk about the mint mark. Mint marks are small letters stamped onto a coin to indicate where it was produced. For the 1964 nickel, you'll find two possible mint marks, D for the Denver Mint and P for the Philadelphia Mint. While both mints produced these coins in 1964, the quantity produced at each mint can vary, and that can influence the coin's rarity and value, but mint marks aren't the only thing that make the 1964 nickel interesting. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. Like any other collectible item, the better the condition, the higher the value. Coins that have been in circulation for years and show signs of wear and tear, scratches, discoloration, and loss of detail, tend to be worth only a small premium above their face value. However, if you happen to find a 1964 nickel that is in pristine condition, no scratches, no tarnish, and with sharp, clear details, that's when things get exciting. Coins like these are considered uncirculated, meaning they've never been used in circulation and have been carefully preserved, and those are the ones that can be worth big money. Now, let's talk about something even more exciting: rare variations and mint errors. In the world of coin collecting, error coins are some of the most sought-after and valuable specimens. These errors can include misstrikes, double die markings, or unusual anomalies in the coin's design. A 1964 nickel with a unique error could be worth far more than any regular 1964 coin, especially if it's a rare mistake made during the minting process. These errors are incredibly rare, and when collectors find one, it can spark bidding wars and bring in substantial sums at auctions. So, what's the bottom line? How much could a 1964 nickel actually be worth? Well, let's start with the basics. Most 1,964 nickels you come across will be worth about 5 cents. However, if you're lucky enough to find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, the value can jump significantly. Coins like these, especially those with rare mint marks or that are in exceptional condition, can fetch impressive sums, but here's the real kicker: a 1964 nickel with just the right combination of mint mark, condition, and rarity could be worth as much as $48,000. Yes, you heard that right, $48,000 for a nickel. That's the kind of money a rare, high-quality 1964 nickel can bring in, and it's exactly why coin collecting is such an exciting and rewarding hobby. If you're wondering how you can get your hands on one of these valuable coins, the first step is to keep an eye out for 1964 nickels in your collection or in coin rolls. Look for coins that have been well preserved and those with mint marks that might indicate a rarer production run. Keep in mind, the 1964 nickel is not just another coin from the past, it's a piece of history, and with the right condition and characteristics, it could be worth a small fortune. In conclusion, the 1964 United States nickel is far more than just a 5-cent coin. It's a piece of American history with the potential to be worth tens of thousands of dollars, especially if it's in excellent condition or has a rare mint error. So, the next time you come across a 1964 nickel, take a closer look. You might just be holding onto something that could fetch you $48,000, or more. Today, we're going to talk about a particular nickel, the 1986 United States 5-cent coin, that might just be hiding in your collection or sitting in a coin roll waiting for you to discover its true worth. At first glance, the 1986 nickel might seem like just another coin from the 80s, but when we dive deeper, you'll see that this coin has the potential to be worth far more than its 5-cent face value. Now, let's set the stage. The 5-cent nickel has been a significant part of U.S. currency for well over a century. Since its debut in 1866, the nickel has undergone several design changes, but one of the most iconic designs was introduced in 1938, featuring the profile of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse side. On the reverse side, you'll find a depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, a design that was part of the coin until 2004 when it was replaced by a new series of designs. This particular nickel, from 1986, falls into that classic design range, and it's easy to overlook because it's so familiar, but here's where things get interesting. Although most of the 1986 nickels you encounter may seem like everyday change, some can actually carry a significant premium, especially if you're dealing with a well-preserved specimen. One of the first things to note when it comes to the 1986 nickel, or any coin, really, is the mint mark. For those of you who don't know, the mint mark indicates where the coin was produced. For the 1986 nickel, you'll come across either a P mint mark, indicating it was made at the Philadelphia Mint, or a D mint mark, meaning it was minted in Denver. Mint marks can influence the rarity and demand for a coin, so understanding this simple detail can already make a huge difference in how much a coin is worth. But it's not just the mint mark that makes the 1986 nickel stand out, it's also the condition. Let's face it, coins that have been circulating for decades tend to show signs of wear. Scratches, tarnishing, and fading are all too common when a coin has spent time in pockets, purses, and vending machines. Most 1986 nickels you find will be in circulated condition, meaning they've been used in everyday transactions. But when you find one in mint or near mint condition, you're looking at a coin that could have a much higher value. Coins that have been carefully preserved, kept in protective holders, or just generally untouched by the elements are considered uncirculated. These coins have sharp details, crisp edges, and a shine that's almost as if they just rolled off the press. And that's where the value lies. If you come across a 1986 nickel that's uncirculated, you could be holding onto something that's worth a lot more than 5 cents. But wait, it gets even better. There are certain versions of the 1986 nickel that could be even more valuable if they feature rare characteristics like mint errors. Mint errors are fascinating in the world of numismatics, and they can significantly increase the value of a coin. An error coin is any coin that deviates from the intended design or composition due to a mistake during the minting process. For example, if a coin was struck twice, or if there was a misalignment in the design, you'd have an error coin that's highly sought after by collectors. These types of nickels are much rarer, and finding one in your collection could be a real windfall. So, keep an eye out for any 1986 nickels that may have unusual features, because they could be worth far more than you imagine. So, how much are we talking about when it comes to the 1986 nickel? Well, most of these coins, especially the ones that are circulated and in average condition, will probably be worth about 5 cents. But for those who are lucky enough to find an uncirculated 1986 nickel in pristine condition, the price can jump dramatically. A coin like this could be worth hundreds, or even thousands, depending on its condition, rarity, and the presence of any errors. Now, let's talk about the exciting part, the high-end value of the 1986 nickel. For a perfectly preserved, uncirculated 1986 nickel, particularly one with a rare mint mark or an interesting error, the coin could be worth as much as $50,000. That's right, $50,000 for a single nickel. It might sound unbelievable, but in the world of rare coin collecting, it's not out of the question. If you're fortunate enough to find one of these elusive nickels, you could have a small fortune in your hands. But where do you find these rare coins? Well, your best bet is to keep searching through your own coin collection or try your luck with coin rolls from banks or coin dealers. As with any coin hunt, patience and diligence are key. Make sure to inspect every 1986 nickel you come across for signs of unusual wear or mint errors. You never know when you might find a gem hiding in plain sight. In conclusion, the 1986 United States 5-cent nickel is a prime example of how seemingly ordinary coins can be worth far more than their face value when the right conditions align. Whether it's a pristine, uncirculated example or a rare error coin, the 1986 nickel can be worth thousands of dollars to the right collector. So, the next time you come across a 1986 nickel in your change, take a closer look. You might just have a coin that's worth $50,000. Today, we have a particularly special one for you. This coin is often overlooked, but trust me, it's more valuable than you might think. We're talking about the 1988 United States 5-cent nickel, a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket change, ready to surprise you with its true worth. You might be thinking, a nickel from 1988? That's pretty recent, isn't it? But, as we'll explore in this video, this seemingly simple coin has the potential to be worth far more than its 5-cent face value. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you may look at your nickels a little differently. Let's start with some background. The United States nickel has been a part of American currency since 1866, and over the years, it has undergone many design changes. The most iconic design, which features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, has been in circulation since 1938. This classic design remained the same through the years, including the 1988 nickel we're talking about today. The 1988 nickel isn't just another ordinary coin, it's actually part of a long history of coins that collectors hold dear. But what makes the 1988 nickel stand out? Well, it might surprise you, but there are a few key factors that can make this coin worth a lot more than just 5 cents. The first thing to look at when assessing any coin's value is its condition. Most coins that have been in circulation for years or decades have experienced some level of wear and tear. Coins can become scratched, discolored, or lose their sharp details. This is true for most of the 1988 nickels you might encounter, which would be considered circulated coins. These circulated nickels are not going to fetch much more than their face value. However, there's an exciting possibility here. If you happen to come across a 1988 nickel in uncirculated condition, meaning it's never been used in circulation and has been carefully preserved, it can be worth significantly more. Coins in uncirculated condition have crisp details, shiny surfaces, and no visible signs of wear. These are the types of coins that collectors and investors are always on the lookout for, as they can fetch premium prices at auctions or in private sales. The next factor to consider is the mint mark. For the 1988 nickel, you'll find either a P for the Philadelphia Mint or a D for the Denver Mint. The mint mark tells you where the coin was produced, and depending on which mint produced the coin, its rarity could vary. However, the mint mark alone doesn't necessarily determine the coin's value. Condition and rarity are still the biggest factors at play, but let's take this one step further and talk about the potential for error coins. In the world of coin collecting, error coins can be worth a significant amount of money, and the 1988 nickel is no exception. Coin errors occur during the minting process when something goes wrong, resulting in a coin that is different from the original design. This could include things like double strikes, off-center prints, or other unusual defects. If you happen to find a 1988 nickel with an error, it could be worth a lot more than a typical uncirculated coin. Collectors go wild over these rare, one-of-a-kind coins, and they're always on the lookout for something special like this. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value of the 1988 nickel. While most of the 1988 nickels you come across will likely be worth their 5-cent face value, there's a chance you could find one that's worth much more. If the coin is in perfect, uncirculated condition and has no signs of wear, it could easily be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the right collector. But wait, there's more. A 1988 nickel with a rare mint error or a particularly unique characteristic could be worth a staggering amount. In fact, the value of some of these 1988 nickels can soar as high as $56,000. Yes, you heard that right, $56,000 for a single 5-cent coin. It's incredible, isn't it? But this is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. You never know when you might stumble upon a rare find that could be worth an incredible sum. Whether it's a pristine, uncirculated coin or a rare error, the 1988 nickel can hold a significant value, and it's one of those coins that collectors dream about finding. So, how can you find one of these valuable 1988 nickels? Well, your best bet is to check through your own coin collection or keep an eye on rolls of coins from your bank. When you do, be sure to pay attention to the condition of the coins. Any nickels that appear to be in mint condition, with sharp details and no visible wear, should be carefully examined. You'll also want to look for any oddities or errors, as these could be the real treasures that make your coin collection worth a lot more. In conclusion, the 1988 United States 5-cent nickel is much more than just a coin worth 5 cents. With the right condition, mint mark, or even a rare minting error, this coin could be worth an impressive amount of money. If you're lucky enough to find a pristine example or one with a special characteristic, you could be holding onto a coin worth $56,000. So the next time you come across a 1988 nickel, make sure to take a closer look. You never know when you might discover your next big find. Today, we have something special for you, a coin that's often overlooked but can potentially be worth a small fortune. We're talking about the 1990 United States 5-cent nickel. At first glance, it might seem like just another everyday coin, but trust me, this nickel could be hiding some serious value. So, if you've got any 1990 nickels lying around, or if you're just getting into coin collecting, you're going to want to stick around for this one. Let's take a moment to understand what makes the 1990 nickel so intriguing. The 5-cent nickel has been a staple of U.S. currency for generations, and the 1990 version is part of a long legacy of coins that have captured the interest of collectors. Featuring the iconic portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and a depiction of Jefferson's home, Monticello, on the reverse, the 1990 nickel follows the classic design that's been in circulation since 1938. So, what's so special about this particular coin, you ask? Well, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and certain key features that can significantly increase its value. The first factor to consider when evaluating the worth of a coin is its condition. Most of the 1990 nickels you'll encounter are likely circulated coins, which means they've been in everyday use. These coins are often worn, scratched, and may have lost some of their luster. While they may hold sentimental value or be a nice addition to a collection, circulated coins generally don't carry a high price tag beyond their face value. But here's where things get interesting. If you happen to find a 1990 nickel that is in uncirculated condition, meaning it hasn't been used in circulation and has been carefully preserved, you're in for a treat. Uncirculated coins are in pristine condition, with no wear, sharp details, and a beautiful, shiny finish. Coins like this are highly sought after by collectors because they represent the original state of the coin when it was first struck. If you're lucky enough to find a 1990 nickel that's uncirculated, the value can increase significantly. But that's not all. Another important factor that can affect the value of your 1990 nickel is the mint mark. As with many U.S. coins, the mint mark tells you where the coin was produced. The 1990 nickel could bear a P for the Philadelphia Mint or a D for the Denver Mint. The mint mark can provide valuable clues about the coin's rarity. Coins from certain mints may have been produced in larger quantities, while others may be rarer, making them more desirable to collectors. However, the value of a 1990 nickel doesn't just depend on the mint mark or its condition. There's another exciting aspect to this coin: mint errors. Mint errors are fascinating because they occur during the minting process, and they can make a coin completely unique. A mint error could be something like a misaligned die, double strike, or other anomalies in the design. These types of errors are incredibly rare, and when they occur, they can make a coin worth a small fortune. If you happen to find a 1990 nickel with an error, you could be holding onto a coin that's much more valuable than you originally thought. So, now that we understand the factors that can influence the value of a 1990 nickel, let's get to the big question: how much is this coin worth? Most 1990 nickels you come across will likely only be worth their 5-cent face value. After all, these coins have been in circulation for years, and most of them are probably in average condition. However, there are rare instances where a 1990 nickel, particularly one that's uncirculated or has a mint error, can fetch a significant amount of money. When you factor in condition, rarity, and any unique features, the value of this coin can skyrocket. And here's the real jaw-dropper: a 1990 nickel in perfect, uncirculated condition, especially if it has a rare mint error or unusual characteristics, could be worth as much as $59,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $59,000 for a single nickel. It's incredible, right? But in the world of coin collecting, rare coins with high demand can fetch extraordinary prices, and this 1990 nickel is no exception. If you're wondering how you can get your hands on one of these valuable coins, it's all about keeping a close eye on your collection, searching through coin rolls, or even reaching out to reputable coin dealers who specialize in rare finds. Look for coins that are in exceptional condition, pay attention to the mint marks, and always be on the lookout for any mint errors that could make your coin stand out. Whether you're new to the world of numismatics or a seasoned collector, every coin could potentially be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. In conclusion, the 1990 United States 5-cent nickel is more than just a simple piece of currency. It's a potential goldmine for collectors who know what to look for. If you come across a 1990 nickel in uncirculated condition, or one with a rare mint error, you could be holding onto a coin worth thousands of dollars. And who knows? That humble nickel might just be worth $59,000 if it's the right one. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more exciting content on rare coins and collectibles. Have you ever found a 1990 nickel or another rare coin in your collection? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, happy collecting, and remember, the next treasure could be right in your pocket change.